what is like the normal process of a federal case of this nature? Like, what are they charged with, and kind of what is the steps? Like, what are the like?
So you're charged, right? In most of these cases, they indict you. You don't even know about it. There's an arrest warrant. You get arrested and you get indicted right away, or you've already been indicted, right? You got to go before a judge and you got to have a hearing to figure out whether or not you're going to be detained pre-trial or not. In the feds, you're normally, the standard is you're not detained unless you're like El Chapo or Bin Laden or, whatever, like think about like John Gotti or whoever, like all these guys were out fighting their cases, right? So, and they were charged with murder and racketeering and organized crime. So the standard is generally you're out. If you can get somebody out, great. If you can't, then they're in pre-trial. And then it's like, once you're in pre-trial, I don't have to tell you, if you're already in, you just want to get out. And if you got to take a plea to get out, that's what they do. So they want to hold people in, and they want to force a plea. You're facing 20 years. You've already done a year. Take a plea, take a felony for 3 years, and you're out. Some people took those deals, but the majority of people, think about the people who went to the Capitol. They went there because they disagreed with the election result. They thought the election was improperly decided. They were there for political reasons. Moreover, they have no criminal records, right? Moreover, they're very, very patriotic. So they're very like, fuck the system type people. So the vast majority of these people said, no, stick it up your whatever. We're not taking a deal. And the DOJ didn't know what to do with that. And all of a sudden, all these trials started stacking up. And they started hiring and pulling from all the other places. Nothing like this has ever happened with the DOJ. It's the largest investigation in the history of the Department of Justice.
It's 1,200 arrests, they said?
More than that. It's probably approaching 2,000.
Oh,
and
wow.
budgetary-wise, it blows any other investigation and prosecution out. Think about that. Bin Laden, JFK, whatever it is, all the five families, El Chapo, all that stuff. This smokes it by 100 miles, right? So once you go in, and you're in pre-trial, you have to make a calculated decision as to whether or not you can fight this case. So we're getting ready to make these decisions, and in every one of these cases, they make us sign a protective order, and it says that we're going to give you access to your information, to your discovery. We're going to give it to you in 2 tiers, right? 3 tiers. Non-protected, which is nothing, like one document with your name on it. You have protected and like heavily protected information. And you're not allowed to disseminate that with the public. And the stuff it's called highly sensitive information, all the shit that's real critical, like what's happening in the Capitol, where your guy's at, who punched the cop in the face, whatever it is, they call that highly sensitive information. You can't even view, you as a defendant, you can't view it without me. And if you're in Arkansas, if you're in jail, how the hell can you view your discovery? Lots of these guys went near 1-2 years, never even seen their discovery, right? They did that to force these guys to plea. You know it's illegally. On top of that, check this out.
Wow.
The January 6th committee obtains the information independently. They got it from the DOJ, right? And then they hold this production where they spend millions of dollars to proffer a one-sided narrative to the American public about what happened that day. And they take all the highly sensitive information and they publish it to the world in a way that's most incriminating. And we can't do anything about it, right? Because they handicapped us from going out there and doing it publicly. So I had to work with people, raise money, figure out how to obtain this footage outside of the scope of how it was given to me, and then launch a counter campaign on TV. I went on all the big shows, and we had to launch a counter information war. So this is not a normal case, right? These are not normal cases. This is information war in the public consciousness versus what's in conjunction with what's going on in court. And it made it very complicated. Every time I went on TV to do something, they would beat these guys in jail, throw them in the hail, mace them, kick the shit out of them, starve them, give them the wrong medication, move them across the country, whatever it is, just to make the situation difficult. But lots of these people, because they didn't do anything wrong, they refused to give up.
I've never heard about 90% of this shit. So they have.
I mean, but it makes sense. I'm not surprised.